वक्त था वक्त मसीहा न किसी और का वक्त मैं नाता तो कोई और ही आया होता.
Sakla, I'm gonna go to Saqib now. So Saqib, as I mentioned at the start, he's taken over from Hamza. As you know, Hamza's gone to Newcastle. He still tries to watch every now and then. So he told me as well that please try and keep it going. So I've asked Saqib to take over from him. So Saqib, if you can show us your presentation today and let us know what book
Okay.
you read.
Assalamu alaikum. I
Alaikum.
sent you the palms in your thingy, in your mail. Did you get it?
Let me check, sir. Yeah, I got it. Do you
It's
want me
the
to,
second one.
do you want me
The
to put it on the
first.
screen?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Just have to airdrop that quick time. Yep. Over to you.
Oh, so the book that I decided, or Morbisab told me to do, was the Our Teaching. So it was an interesting read for me, I would say. I really liked it in the 2 hours that I read it, and it was pretty decent, I would say.
Just let me know when you want to change the slide, yeah?
All right, yeah. So the date I couldn't find when it was published, so
Okay.
So I started with the PowerPoint with the quote that the promised Messiah himself said, "Whoever neglects even a minor commandment of the 700 commandments of the Holy Quran closes the doors of salvation upon him." So I thought that was key because it was reinforcing the idea of disobeying not only the commandment but disobeying who set them, which of course is God Himself. And then he talks about like then the promised Messiah himself like links that with whoever enters the sincere bed with me and becomes the follower from the bottom of his heart. He's himself saying right now that if someone who like sinceres Beth and enters and then not follows the commandments, the 10 commandments of Beth, is also not following the rules that's been said, I would say. Next slide.
Yeah.
So from the Holy Quran, this was stated in the book. This is one of the first references that it was given. So it was from Surah Al-Fatiha, chapter 1, verse 6. So he talks about the knowledge that's unseen. So he talks about like the movement of the Moses received the treasure which had been lost in the early ages, and after the losing of the treasure, Promised Muhammad found the treasure that had been lost. And then he links that again with like how he claims that therefore I am the promised Messiah, no one else is. He's suggesting, I would say, that he himself has found the treasure, I would say.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Next slide.
Yeah, change it.
So the hadith, I linked this by myself because I couldn't find a hadith that was given in the book. So I quoted him. In his ways, he provided a practical demonstration of the world, of this word, and through his sunnah, i.e. his way of practice, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, resolved matters in intimacy and difficulty. It would be wrong to suggest that the issue were resolved by the hadith. Page 26, 23. He clarifies the concept that the hadiths are not the words of the God Almighty. That being said, he's saying that hadiths are not the true sayings of what Allah has stated, but he also states that hadith is a servant of the Holy Quran itself. So that's suggesting like it's also states that to support the Quran itself. But then he said that doesn't mean that hadith is a lie. Of course, it is true to say that the third means of the guidance are the hadith. The greatest benefit of the hadith is that it serves the Quran. if the Quran states something, whereas Hadith states something else, those who fail to properly honor the Quran proclaim that the Hadith are authority over the Quran. Next slide.
Yeah.
So in his own words, he states, "Can you seize from without sin certainty? Can you?" Because I like this part the most in the book because it's questioning the people who's reading the book right now.
Yeah.
So while I was reading this whole thing, I was questioning myself as to whatever he was stating. So he says, "Can you cease from sin without certainty? Can you cease pursuit from selfish desires without witnessing a true certain manifestation of God? Can you discover peace without certainty? Can you bring from a sincere change without certainty? Can you achieve true prosperity without the certainty? If there beneath the heaven an ointment or expiation which can deliver you from sin." Next slide. So during the end of the book, he starts to talk about, "Oh, ye rich," and he's talking about the rich people and how they back in the day were focused on like the money and the wealth rather than God Himself, because they seem to have forgotten that Allah exists. So he states that a man who is rich and doesn't address himself to God will have the sins of all those who are connected to him. He then goes into a little more depth into the idea of and pleads those who drink and such, and he wants people to let such toxications go, because they're in the way of his teachings and they're in the way of people worshiping to God Himself. Because if biting intoxications and drugs and drinking, the fearness towards God it's not there anymore. So he wants them to fear God from doing twisted acts and forbidden acts, so they themselves feel like some sort of redemption. The idea of not fearing God and acting upon such shameful acts, which Islam is everything. Yeah. Next slide. My dear people, this is a time of re-entering services to the cause of religion, dear ones. The time has come to serve religion and assist its cause. Prize the opportunity, it shall not come again. Why do you close heart when you follow such a magnificent prophet? Display such conduct that even the angels in the heavens are left astonished at your own loyalty and purity, and invoke blessings upon you. I now conclude and pray that my teachings prove beneficial for you. May such a transmission take place within you, that you become the stars of the earth, and that the earth is illuminated by the light you have been grounded by your Lord. Ameen, and again, Ameen. I think the significance of ending the book the way he did was to show what like he summarized the whole book in just one small paragraph, I would say. So he focuses on the positive aspects of like how he wants people to like show loyalty and be pure and invoke blessings, and he's giving advices to the people who are reading to do what. Yeah, next slide.
Yeah. And lastly,
I'll quote him again. "Permission has been given to those who fight because they have been oppressed, and Allah indeed has the power to help them. All people can receive such help if only you can trust your master and act upon his teachings." Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Jazakallah, Saqib. It was good, alhamdulillah. First time doing it, so apologies for any weaknesses, but it was very, very well presented. But it shows that how did you prepare for it, and how did you feel after reading it? Did you feel like you understood Hazrat Masih Maud's books a little bit more?
So the first page of the book really blew my mind. It was totally focused on like he said, "Let me absolutely be clear that mere verbal pledge has no value if it's supported by the genuine, firm resolve to live up to it every day." So I was every way. So that made me think that if what he is saying it tested me, I would say, like if I'm doing what he's saying that I'm doing in my daily life in
Mm.
such ways. So
Mm.
yeah, so I was kind of scared. I was like, okay, to like what he's saying
Yeah.
and such.
Mm. So this book is actually taken from Kashti Anu, Noah's Ark. There's a section in there called Our Teaching, and another title given to Noah's Ark was Invitation to Islam. So that's why, as Muslim, this basically been extracted from that and made into a book, because this was really important for people to understand exactly what the teachings of Ahmadiyyat and the true Islam
Mm.
are. So that's why it's a very, very powerful book, and that's why it was made into a separate book, for people just to know exactly what the teachings are. So yeah, Jazakallah, Saqib, sorry. I think it was only 30 or so pages, so if anyone wants to read it, it's very easy to read. But inshallah, we'll bring another book next week. So start reading from now. Make notes of it, and just choose the things that you want to talk about. Okay.
All right.
Jazakallah, Saqib.